Hi, I'm Todd O'Malley with the law offices of O'Malley and Langan. If I say the phrase life-changing experience, what do you think? Getting married, having a baby, buying a home, all good things. I'll bet you didn't think work injury, and that's a problem with our society. People don't realize a work injury can change everything, destroy your earning power, hurt your family, and damage your health. If you're hurt on the job, call O'Malley and Langan, 1-800-817-COMP. Just up the river and across the way is a beautiful road called, ironically enough, Paradise Road. 3 families that have lived in the Wyalusing area all of their life built their homes. One with a beautiful little brick that says, "Built with Grandpa and Daddy's hands." Another one built by a school teacher, where he and his wife actually went out and milled the trees that made their hardwood floors. The families had young children, the wives were pregnant, and they learned that their wells had been completely and totally destroyed by migration of methane gas as a result of poor drilling practices. These 3 families have been devastated by the horrors of a company that just didn't work properly to ensure that safety was used. These were the first families that I met in my tour through the gasland of Bradford County. I hope over the next few minutes you'll join me as we interview and talk to the families and see what has happened to them.
We learned that our peaceful dwelling was in trouble on July 11th, 2010, because our water turned the color of mud. Before they started the drill, we had our water tested, and our baseline results came back to near perfect water. Well, if you don't have water, you can't shower, you can't go to the bathroom, you can't wash dishes. Chesapeake promised to drill us a second well, and that well was actually more contaminated than the first well. And they have then purged that well several times with methane levels upwards of 25%, turbidity levels nearing triple digits, which is like chocolate milk. And I just find it hard that we'll be ever able to drink that water. Our son, who's about 1.5 years, he's at the investigative stage, and yes, we are very, very concerned, especially when his sandbox is located within feet of the gas wellhead, which they told us may explode. They being DEP, because Chesapeake said there's absolutely no fear of explosion whatsoever. You can't get water any clearer than what we had. That's just very unfortunate that it'll never be as pristine as it once was.
At that point, we didn't know if we had chemicals, if it was explosives. We had no idea what was in the well. All we knew is there was stuff in there that was not supposed to be there.
We left the house around August 1st. The methane alarm went off that morning about 4 a.m. And we got the kids up, and I called Chesapeake and DEP, and we evacuated to her parents' house as per DEP's recommendations.
Right, and 911 was called, and we had to stay throughout the day because people were in and out monitoring and trying to figure out what they were doing. But we weren't sleeping here or anything like that. I think the fears we share, especially once that monitor went off. First of all, it was the next day. It was installed the evening before, and we were told it was as a precautionary measure. There's no problems. They were finding methane just outside in the gas wells, in our water wells. They had very low readings, I believe, in the basement. But again, we were assured that there was, not an immediate problem. Well, sure enough, like I said, 3, 4 a.m. that day, the next that night, the alarm went off. And
Fortunate-
at that point, you're like, we were told this could be explosive levels, and you're like, is the house going to blow up right now with my children sleeping in it?
Well, the
And they're
toughest-
priceless.
The toughest part was coming back to stay in the house, even with the monitors,
Yes.
because you didn't know if it was going to go off again and what was going to happen, and for the safety of everyone.
Thank you for sharing Sunday morning with us, particularly Easter Sunday. You've had an opportunity to meet the people that are the faces of fracking. You've seen the families, you've seen the wells, you've seen the problems. And now I ask you, is it worth it to allow these companies to have sway over the entire community without any state regulation? Or is it necessary for the governor to get involved and the Department of Environmental Protections and start to closely monitor exactly what they're doing? It's up to you. So you be the judge.